Hi, this is Jenny from Trendy, and today I'm going to show you how to make this poinsettia wreath using red and lime green poly burlap, okay? All the supplies came from Trendy, and we'll give you that supply list. Let's go ahead and get started.
The first thing we're going to do is take our 24-inch pencil wreath. This is a lime green or fresh green. And then we're going to take a 10-inch red wreath. And we're going to stack these two wreaths together. Now we're going to work on the petals on the green wreath first. But you can see how to attach the wreath better if I go ahead and do that now. This is two wreaths put together. It's a 10-inch and a 24-inch. We use zip ties to just attach in several places. And just snip off the ends of those zip ties and you have a stacked wreath. Next we're going to cut our poly burlap in 10-inch widths. This poly burlap already comes in a 10-inch wide by 10-yard roll. It's made of all poly. It does have a texture that resembles burlap and it resembles the paper mesh. It is an open weave product and it will ravel. There's not anything that you can do to completely stop the raveling. You do want to make as few cuts in it as possible and handle it as little as possible. But we're going to make our petals 10 inches in length. So I'm going to cut some 10-inch pieces. We're going to start on the outer ring of our 24-inch wreath. And we're going to make our petal. And to make our petal, you can see that the poly burlap will kind of naturally curl up. We're going to let it curl up, and we're going to start pulling a corner to the center from each side. And then just pinch that petal, turn it over, open a twist, and just secure that petal with one twist for right now. And just make a V. Push those petals to the outside. Take your second petal, same way, flip it over, and we're going to open that twist, lay that second petal down right on top, close that petal this time with 3 or 4 twists, push them to the outside, and you made a petal. We're going to work all the way around the outer ring of the work wreath, putting 2 petals in each twist. I was only able to cut 35 pieces from this roll of mesh, so I'm going to be 1 petal short on my last one, but it won't be noticeable. So now we've gone all the way around it with 2 layers of petals in each twist. Now we're going to move to the red, and we're going to do the petals the same way. We're going to cut 10-inch lengths of the red poly mesh. Before we start securing our red petals, we're going to need to make a crossbar across the center of the wreath because we're going to need a place to attach some extra petals to. I'm going to do that with some chenille stems, and I'm going to work from the straight piece. Okay, now we'll need that later to attach some extra pieces in the center. So now we're going to make our petals the same way. Just bring those corners to the center, pinch it up, flip it over. We're going to put 2 layers of petals in each twist. Going to tuck those ends to the inside and push those petals to the outside and work all the way around this wreath. Now, you have some extra pieces left over, and we're going to go in and we're going to put about 2 petals on each one of these straight bars across the center. And to do that, we're going to make a pick. We're going to put 2 petals together. Take a chenille stem, cut it in half. Take the chenille stem, go down over the top of the petal, bring it around to the back. Give it a couple of twists. We're going to take that petal, take that little stem, and we're going to slide it down right on top of our chenille stem across the center. Going to reach from the back side and secure it from the underneath side. And you still have a few inches left in case you need to make any extra petals to fill in any gaps or anything. Now, the next thing we have to do is finish filling up our center. We're going to use these gold twist balls. They just have a little bit of tinsel and a gold ball on each end, and I'm going to use 3. And I'm going to insert the balls. I'm going to go from the back side of the wreath and push them up through the middle, crossing over those chenille stems, and just twist it a couple of times. Take another set. Put all 3 up in there. And then I'm just going to sort of twist them together till I get them to fill in that center snugly. You don't want to twist them so tight that you pull them loose, but just want to fill in the center like that. And then if you still have any holes, any place that you need to put another petal to fill in a gap, which I don't know if you can see it real good, but I can see a little bit of a hole right there. I'm going to make another petal. I'm just going to do a single petal, put it on a stem, and I'm just going to slide it in there and find a place to secure it. And maybe put another one right in there. Okay. Now you can go back, clip any strings. It's always helpful if you clip them instead of pulling when you can. Of course, sometimes they'll just fall out. And you can always flip your wreath over to the back. Try not to just lay it flat down, but look at your wreath from the back and tuck in your twist. To help with the raveling, I'm going to try using some Elmer spray glue. I've done this on paper mesh, and it does help with paper mesh, but this is the first time I've tried it on poly burlap. I'm going to take it outside for this part. It gets very tacky though, and you just need to kind of lift out those petals and spray those edges, and once you sprayed them, you may need to go back and lift them out another time or two to keep them from sticking together. But I'm going to take this outside and do this part. When you spray your wreath, of course you'll generate more strings when you do, and just after it's all dry, go back and clip those. There's just no way to stop this open weave product from raveling completely. So just clip your strings, but the spray adhesive does help. When you spray it, before it dries, you just want to make sure that you just gently sort of lift out those petals so they don't stick together. The wreath measures about 26 inches in width, and let's see, has a depth of about 9 inches. You can make a hanger for the back of your wreath by putting 2 zip ties together, and there you go. After this wreath was completed, I did a light coating of just some clear coat spray, just inexpensive spray in a can. And once you spray it, you want to kind of make sure that you lift out your petals, kind of reshape those petals and let them, so they won't just stick and flatten down and stick to each other. But just kind of lift those petals out and reshape them. Of course, you'll have to go back and do more clipping because you'll generate some strings just handling it. But I thought that this might help decrease the raveling some. You'll just have to experiment with that and see what you think. It probably all depends on your climate, so keep that in mind too.
Well, there's our poinsettia wreath after we finished it. It measures about 26 inches in diameter and has a depth of 8 or 9 inches. We will have these supplies in a kit. Of course, the kits don't always last very long, but we'll give the SKU numbers of all the items that we've used. We hope you'll visit us at Trendy. We're online only. We have all kinds of wreath making supplies, from mesh, wreath forms, ribbons, Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations, and all kinds of home decor. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Pinterest, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's an icon right at the bottom of your screen where you can just click and subscribe so you won't miss our next video coming out. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.